You're not failing because life is hard. And you've been calling it discipline problems to avoid the real truth staring you in the face. You wake up with plans. You break them before noon. Then you blame motivation, time, stress, your environment, anything except the one thing actually in control. Let's stop pretending. You say you want change, but you negotiate with yourself like a lawyer every single morning. I'll start tomorrow. Just today off. I'm too tired. And you believe it. Every time. You don't lack discipline. You lack self-respect under pressure. Because the moment discomfort shows up, you surrender the leadership of your life to the weakest impulse in your body. That extra hour in bed, that skipped workout, that "I'll do it later" lie you've repeated so often it feels like truth. And deep down, you already know what it's costing you.
Pause. But here's the part you don't want to admit. If someone followed you for 7 days, they wouldn't think you're struggling. They'd think this is exactly how you choose to live. Now ask yourself that honestly, and see how fast your mind tries to defend it. Psychology has a simple truth most people ignore. Behavior follows identity, not the other way around. You don't act lazy because you're tired. You act lazy because somewhere inside you've accepted that version of you as normal, so every time you try to force discipline, you're fighting your own identity, and identity always wins. Fire line. That's why you can grind for a week and collapse right back into the same patterns, because you didn't change who you are. You just temporarily overrode it, and that is exhausting. That is why you burn out. Not from work, from internal conflict. The real battle is not between you and your goals. It is between who you say you want to be and who you've trained yourself to be every single day. And right now, those two people are not the same. The gap between them? That's where your frustration lives. You finish a task early, and what do? Scroll, snack, escape. You don't reinforce discipline, you reward relief. So your brain learns a pattern. Effort, willpower, discomfort, avoidance, willpower, comfort. And then you wonder why consistency feels impossible. You trained yourself into inconsistency. Try this. The next time you complete something hard, do not escape into dopamine. Sit in it for 5 minutes. Let your brain register. I did what I said I would. No reward that weakens you, only reinforcement that strengthens identity. So the question is, are you training a disciplined identity or a comfort-seeking one? You wouldn't trust someone who lies to you every day. But you trust yourself after breaking promises constantly. That's the contradiction destroying your identity. You say, "I'll wake up early," then don't. You say, "I'll start working out," then don't. You say, "I'll focus today," then don't. And every broken promise chips away at self-trust. Discipline is not built in the gym. It is built in the quiet moment when no one is watching and you still do what you said. Fix this. Choose one promise. One. And keep it for 7 days no matter what. No negotiation, no adjustment. So the question is, how long can you trust someone who keeps lying to themselves? You say, "I'm trying to be disciplined." That sentence alone is the problem. Trying is temporary. Identity is permanent. You don't try to be someone who trains every day. You either are that person or you aren't. Look at your daily decisions. They are voting for your identity. Every single one. And right now, your votes are loud, they are consistent, and they are not building the person you claim to want to become. Change the language. Not, "I'm trying." I don't miss workouts. I don't skip commitments. I don't negotiate with comfort. At first it feels fake. That's because your identity is resisting being rewritten. So the question is, are you describing who you are, or declaring who you refuse to become anymore? There's a hidden addiction most people never talk about, the addiction to almost disciplined, almost consistent, almost successful, because almost lets you keep your identity without facing results. You still feel like you could be great, without ever proving it. And that fantasy is more comfortable than reality. That is why you stay there. Break it. Remove one thing you've been almost doing and commit fully for 14 days. No backup plan, no exit strategy. So the question is, do you want to live in potential forever, or finally step into proof? This is where most people start feeling defensive, because part of you recognizes this is true, and another part is uncomfortable because it removes excuses. You might be thinking, "It's not that simple. You don't understand my situation. And maybe you're right, life is complicated, people are tired, pressure is real. But here's the truth that doesn't care about your situation. Everyone changes only when staying the same becomes more painful than changing. And right now, you're still comfortable enough to delay it. That's the real problem. You react differently every day. Some days focused, some days chaotic. That's not flexibility, that's instability. A strong identity doesn't fluctuate, it has standards. You don't ask, do I feel like it? You ask, is this what I do? Because people without standards become prisoners of their mood. Fix this. Define 3 identity rules you never break. Simple, non-negotiable. Example, I train daily. I finish what I start. I don't negotiate with distractions. Then live like breaking them is not an option. So the question is, are you led by mood or by identity? You avoid discomfort like it's dangerous. But discomfort is literally the raw material of change. You don't fail because things are hard. You fail because you escape the hardness too early. And every time you escape it, you train yourself to be weaker under pressure. Start staying in it longer. The resistance in workouts, the boredom in focus, the frustration in learning. Don't run. Stay. So the question is, are you avoiding pain or are you avoiding becoming someone stronger? Stop thinking about habits for a second. Think about identity. Who are you really trying to become? Not in words, in behavior, in standards, in decisions when nobody is watching. Imagine a version of you who doesn't negotiate with weakness. He wakes up when he said he would. He trains when he doesn't feel like it. He finishes work when distractions are screaming at him. That version of you is not gifted. He is trained, repeated, built through uncomfortable consistency. And here's the uncomfortable truth. He is not far away. He is just buried under every decision you've made that chose comfort over identity. You are not becoming him by waiting. You become him by replacing every weak decision with a stronger one until there is no old version left to return to. Today is the test. Not tomorrow. Today. Pick one action you've been avoiding. 1. And do it immediately after this video ends. No thinking, no delay. Not because it changes your life instantly, but because it proves something more important, that you are no longer someone who breaks alignment with yourself. Discipline is not built in motivation. It is built in moments where you refuse to betray your own identity. And once that shift happens, everything else follows. Not because life gets easier, but because you finally become harder to break.